wrote a song about my bong because frankly my bong deserves it. I'm just a simple girl who loves her bong. I like to scroll through Insta with my TV on. I got snacks on deck and a candle on. I smoked an ounce today like I'm Cheech and Chong. I buy vegan ice cream cause I can't do milk. My pajamas are made of silk. The group chats where I talk to my clique, they're really funny so I answer quick. My bong makes me calm after a real long day, eases thoughts and scares my stresses away, makes my life more fun, I wanna play. Then I blast Snoop and Dr. Dre. I'm just a simple girl who loves her bong. If you love yours too, then sing along. My bong never cheats and he never lies. He passes thoughts to me and makes me wise. Makes me wanna stare at sunset skies and sometimes watch that bitch rise. I don't have no kids, I don't have no pets, mainly 'cause of the cost of the vets. It's wild to me that weed's not free. It's literally just a popular tree. I look out the window every night to make sure that the street's alright, to make sure that the pavement stays and the windows where I press my face. Sometimes I take too many rips. I'm just kidding, there's no such thing. I'm just a simple girl who loves her bong. If you love yours too, then sing along.
It's time for
Duh.
Rocket.
Welcome to the Rocky Rundown, where you get to learn a little bit about my week. Party God Squad, hello! How was your week since we were last together? I hope it was full of celebrate good times. Come on. How fucking happy Kool and the gang must have been to write that song. They were so filled with joy that the word celebrate popped right out of their mouths with an invitation for others to join in on the merriment. Have you ever been so goddamn gleeful? I celebrated a lot this weekend. My friend Julie had a beautiful bridal shower, and official member of the Party God Squad, Langston Belton, episode 2, check it out if you haven't, we celebrated his birthday party. All that celebrating got me thinking, if I can pass on any suggestion to you, it is to celebrate people and really celebrate them because it's fun and it makes life better. At Langston's birthday, I got sloppy, but the next day reviews came in and all positive notes, so luckily I wasn't an asshole. I would love to get drunk just one time and not come home with a wop. A wet-ass purse full of alcohol. It's every time, you guys. At some point, I have to start saying, maybe it's me. I had a beautifully wrapped wine bottle as a gift ready to go, and somehow in my boppings around that night, the wine filled my purse and destroyed my things. Well, it really only destroyed my brand new pack of rolling papers, and it made my purse stink. But this is all the time with me. I ran into one of my brother's friends while I was out in the wild, and the next day I told my brother, and he said, yeah, I know, you gave him mushrooms. I didn't give him mushrooms. I gave him an edible. The person who gave me the edible was on mushrooms, so that's probably where all this confusion came in, bruh. All day I thought about the game of telephone and how words get twisted and rumors get started. Then, when I got home, next to my bed was a packet that said, Space Cube psilocybin-infused gummies. Huh. Guess I did give him mushrooms. I was driving, and this huge truck in front of me's license plate said Big Papa. That guy's dick must be huge. You cannot have a Big Papa license plate and not have a reputation for having an arm between your legs. I'm not even saying size matters. Always. I'm just saying that this guy had me turned on in the turning lane. And speaking of being turned on, have you ever gone on a date where afterwards it's so good your jaw just drops in this way? Let me try to explain it. It's like your mouth says, oh my god, that was so fun, but none of those words come out. But that's your mouth's subtext. Try it. That means it was a good-ass date, people. I do want to be more specific with the guys I'm dating. Mainly what they do for a living. By that I mean what their occupation is. You see, my kitchen sink and my bathroom sink are developing the teeny tiniest little drips. Maybe I date a plumber for 3 months, get those things taken care of. Bam! Need a teeth cleaning? Date a dentist for 6 months. Get both my yearly cleanings done in one relationship. Boom! I could also date a competitive eater who doesn't mind the same cuisine each night. Ultimately, I just want to be with a guy who I can bang while I'm wearing my invisible braces. Public service announcement to couples. If you don't like each other, you can break up. We can normalize breaking up. You'll live, I promise. I've been thinking a lot about my personal goals, and one of them is I want to be a sexy female Mr. Rogers type. That brings us to Rocky's highest thoughts, my most stoned thoughts of the week. Number 1, money-saving tip. Get high in the bathroom right before you shower. You have a personal hot box at your disposal. Not only will your shower feel incredible, the amount of weed that you intake will cut down to half. In this economy, we can use all the help we can get. Number 2, the person who invented the calendar obviously didn't have OCD. Number 3, always be hot, in case you run into an ex-lover in the wild. Number 4, I'd like to stop saying literally so much, but I literally can't. Number 5, we are actually really lucky TikTok exists. Can you believe we used to have to seek out Scarlet Takes the Tumble? Can you imagine doing that nowadays? Ain't nobody got time for that. Number 6, if you want to jazz up your text messages, throw in the word suppose. Number 7, and number 7 is just for scientists. Invent a better way to dispose of garbage, please. It's 2021 and this is getting ridiculous. Perhaps a liquid dropper that makes it disappear and become oxygen. I think I speak for everyone when I say, we've waited long enough. My guests this week are comedians Kelly Wallace-Barnhill and Lindsey Gentile, hosts of the podcast Fuck You, I'm Smarter. I spent a virtual afternoon with these gals because they also had me on their podcast. That episode drops today as well, so check it out if you want to listen to me get progressively smarter as the episode goes on. Their wild word was duo, and after getting to know them, I got a front row seat on what an incredible and hilarious duo these two are. And as a Wild Night's first, they were, in fact, my first duo I've ever interviewed. If you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Wild Nights with Rocky, on Twitter at Wild Nights Pod. Big thank you to everyone in the Party God Squad who has written a review on Apple Podcasts already. It really does make a difference. And to those of you who haven't, you got time, baby. When this episode is over, it's not too late. And one last quick shout out to my friend and number 1 podcast homie, Corey Easley. His show is hilarious. It's bite-sized. And if you love Wild Nights, you will love Corey Has a Podcast. And now, without further ado, please enjoy my Wild Nights conversation with Kelly and Lindsey. Lindsey, Kelly, welcome. Thank you for doing the podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you here. Now, this is a historic moment. This is an amazing moment. You two are my first ever duo on Wild Nights.
We are so honored and so excited to be your first.
Honor and a privilege.
It's amazing. You're both hilarious. You have an amazing podcast yourselves, which we'll get into at the end. But because you are my first duo, let's get into your Wild Night story, because I know it's going to be chock full of details, chock full of wild, and duo was Lindsey and Kelly's wild word. So ladies, give it to us. Give us your Wild Night story, duo.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we are a comedy duo. We've been performing together for so many years. 15 now?
7,000 years.
15 years?
Yeah,
15 years.
1,500 years. No, literally probably about 15.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like we're like sisters. We bicker like sisters.
Yes.
And we laugh like sisters. And yeah, it has been in itself a wild ride.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. 15 years. That's a long time. That's a relationship.
It's definitely a
100%.
relationship.
It's like when you hear a band say it's like a marriage. It's, it's a marriage.
Yeah. We should probably go to therapy, don't you think?
I've thought about it, honestly. But we had a show in New York for a very long time. We had
like a weekly comedy show that we hosted.
Monday nights. It was called Backdoor Comedy at a place called Bar 9 in Hell's Kitchen.
Oh my God, wait, I have to stop you right here, right now. I used to work at a comedy club called Ha Comedy Club. And the owner of Ha Comedy Club, his brother, Steven, is the owner of Bar 9.
Shut up!
Yes, I know Steven. I know all them.
Weird.
Whoa.
We never knew Steven because Kieran probably knew Steven, and he was the
bar manager. He was the one that kind of recruited us to start hosting a comedy show there.
What about Francisco? Do you know Francisco?
No.
Yeah,
we just knew Kieran.
Got it.
We just knew Kieran and the bartender Thor.
Did you know either of them? Oh my God.
No, I don't. Amazing. But I know Bar 9. So you had your comedy show at Bar 9. Go ahead.
So we had a live show for a really long time, and then we were like, let's do a web series. So we were like, how the fuck are we gonna pay for this?
Right.
Yeah.
So we decided, Kelly, do you wanna?
Well, we just decided, what does everybody like? Chocolate. What else does everybody like? Drugs. So we're like, let's make pot brownies and sell them. And this is before you could order it like a freaking Uber coming to your door. You know what I mean?
This is 10 years ago.
This is like, this is back in the day where it's like still illegal. And You want pot brownies. You want to make pot brownies, you have to make them yourself. Or if you want pot brownies, you have to make them yourself. And
or you need to connect.
Or you need to connect.
Yeah,
exactly. And so I bought some pot from, I used to work at a children's facility called Apple Seeds, and it was like a baby play space. It was like a baby country club in the middle of Manhattan.
There we go.
And so I knew some people there who sold drugs that worked there. And so from that connect, we got the bag of pot, and this was a really, really strong bag. Okay.
It was like strong regs. Like it wasn't. It wasn't good pot.
Yeah, it was like a dirty, strong, drag you through the gutter high.
Yeah,
you know,
headache the next day kind of deal. Gotcha.
And so we're like, okay, how do we make this? We go online and we look up what was it? Samuel L. Jackson.
Someone told us to look at the Samuel L. Jackson weed butter recipe. So
I don't know if he was actually behind it at all.
No,
but they used his
pictures
likeness
and stuff, and so that's still on because I've looked at it recently to make and it gives my own butter. Yeah. But that's the recipe.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we make the batter and we're like, this is looking good, but we need to taste it to make sure that it is going to be good. So, when you're making cookies or brownies, you lick the spoon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, of course.
We licked a little bit too much, or this was just, like we said, really strong.
Yeah.
Right.
And this was a point in our lives where the goal was, we're going to go to every Facebook event we're invited to, every birthday, everything. We're going to say yes and sell these
Hawk these brownies.
And get your name out there. Yeah, you wanted to get your name out there too, because at that time, 15 years ago, even 10 years ago, if you wanted weed, if you wanted edibles, somebody would be like, oh, who do you know? Who do you know?
Yes.
And if you know someone right off the bat has it, that's the person you're going to go to every time, especially if it's good. So, okay, so you were hitting up every event.
So we were hitting up every event, and we would especially sell at our comedy shows because people knew us and they knew it would be there. So we're home, we're making it for the show that night. We have a show that night, and we also have a meeting with the DP who's shooting our web series on, this is before Zoom, on Skype.
Remember Skype?
Of course, I do.
Zoom. Yeah.
So we lick a little batter when we're making them, and we get on the Skype, and as soon as we get on the Skype, we're like, oh no.
Oh, wait a second.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
It's like, it's coming on.
And
it's coming on.
Our DP is the nicest guy, Hugh. Oh my God, we love him so much, but he's
Shout out to Hugh.
Shout out to Hugh. He's very technical. He's
long-winded.
He loves his long-winded. He's talking about gadgets and this shot and this lens and this and I'm just like, I can't even follow this entire one sentence to the end. It's too technical. He's talking too much. I'm starting to but it's an important meeting. So, planning out the shots and whatever, and I'm like, I can't do this right now.
He's unknowingly putting us in like a bad spot.
We were itching.
We were like getting higher and higher, like the more and more he talked.
Just crawling out of our
And
skin.
I think we would have been high even if we weren't on drugs. Like talking to him was just so overwhelming. Anyway.
Big energy.
Yes, exactly.
So we like get through that. We're like, all right, we need to like put on our game faces. We have a show to do. Like we have to like sober up a little bit and like get going. So
now let me ask you this. Had you two ever performed, this was a sketch show you were doing?
We did we hosted, so we did sketches and like a little bit of like two women stand up almost. Like
beautiful, beautiful. So you had not performed high ever before?
No. We're not big edible people in general. Like we were just selling it and we only licked it for the brownie of it all.
Of course.
Exactly. It was the brownie of it all. I blame it.
Yeah.
I blame it on the brownie.
We've had some beers like performing.
Yeah, but not whiskey, to be high is different.
No.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to the bar and we're like both kind of just like being weird, obviously, because we're just super high. We get to the bar and Thor, the bartender, he's like, "Hey girls," and we smell this smell and it's like this overwhelming like incense,
like really, really strong incense. But then like under all these layers of incense, there's like a musty kind of almost death-like smell.
Yeah.
Like rotting corpses.
He's like,
oh God.
Hey,
like
bunch of dead rats in the basement.
Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anyone. We're like, we can smell something's happening here.
It's decaying. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So we're like, okay, so now there's dead rats in the basement. That's cool.
Great. That'll bring people in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this night of all nights, we had decided to, so it's normally like kind of, we're hosting like a stand-up comedy nights.
Yeah.
But that's what Kieran wanted. Kieran, the bar manager.
Yeah.
Who was sort of like our alcoholic older brother. Like, really fun, great guy, loves you, encourages
like,
you.
And
it would like turn and
like,
you'd be like just drunk and
towards the end of the night.
Yeah, exactly. But we loved him. And he loved us for the most part. But so we're like, Kieran, we really want to do more of a variety show. Like we want to have musical guests and like sketch and all this other stuff. And he's like, that's fine, just no music. No music. It doesn't work with this kind of show. And we're like, yeah, but this is the kind of show we want to have.
Right.
Anyway,
also, I think because Bar 9 was a music venue in the front, he didn't want any competition or to mix it either.
Yeah.
So he was like really adamant about not having live music, and we over months like convinced him to just let us
just try it once,
20-30 minutes up top get butts and seats, the band will bring people in, like just let us do it. And he's finally like, fine.
Yeah, he gives in.
This high night is the night, unfortunately, that this all went down.
So our opening musical guest was someone that, as we find out, unfortunately, we had never actually heard perform.
Yeah,
great.
But we knew him from.
It was good.
We knew him from a bar that we both ended up working at in some capacity.
Yeah. Okay.
And he
not as a performer though. You knew him just as a person.
Performer. No, he was a bartender.
Just knew him as a bartender who had traveled Europe.
He traveled Europe. He toured Europe. He was well known in Europe, well loved. And he's like, yeah, I just got back from my European tour. We're like, oh, great. He's a singer-songwriter.
Perfect
choice.
His
guitar. I'm like, this is great.
This is the guy.
This guy has only toured hostels in fucking Thailand. That's all he knows with his guitar.
Or even made it into a hostel.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're like, okay, we're super high. Just get the guy on the stage. Let him take over. We will scrap all of our sketches. We'll just introduce the comics. Let's just get this puppy rolling.
Right.
Yep.
So he gets on stage and we tell him he has like 45 minutes to perform. Okay.
Right.
He like comes in early. He gets on stage and he's like,
Money.
No.
And Kieran,
I'm crying.
looks at us and is like, get him off the stage.
Immediately. His first line, and Kieran's like, give him the hook.
We're like, we can't. Like,
Any instrument? Any instrument?
He had a guitar.
I think he was pretending to play a guitar.
I'm weeping right now. I cannot believe this.
20 minutes would go by and you'd be like, oh, I know know what song he was singing.
Right.
Like, it was like...
It's Nature Boy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was
like... There was a boy.
There is a boy. So we're like... It was like barely approximating music.
Gotta get him off. Gotta get him off. But, like, you know, I look at Kelly and I'm like, you gotta do it. I can't do it. I can't. I'm like, I can't do that to someone, but also I hate him get him off.
for lying to us, but also I feel bad for him. I'm going through an existential spiral as we're watching this, and I'm like, all right, I think we let him have 3 songs.
I think he had 3 songs.
Not 45 minutes, although it felt like an hour and 45 minutes.
Literally, you gave him 3 hems.
Literally. Yeah. Kelly gets on stage, like, stands in front of him, is like, all right, everybody, that was so-and-so, blah, blah, blah.
Thank you so much.
He goes, really? I'm done? I'm just done? He's doing
That's the type.
On stage, he's calling us
out on the stage.
The host of the show, who gave him the platform, you guys are hosting, you gave him the platform, and he is, but that's the type, right? Yeah. That's the type of person
Correct, exactly. That's the type of person who would say that they could do something and they really can't.
Right.
And now we're in a position where half the audience is there to see him perform because they all work with him and heard he toured in Europe too. So, like, they're all like, I don't want to sit through the rest of the show. I came to see him do 45 minutes. Yeah. The other half of the audience is like, get this guy off the stage. This is horrible. Or they've already left.
Right.
So and Kieran's like, you girls are fired.
Like, he's like, you never,
like, you'll never walk in this town again.
Legitimately fired. He let you go.
No.
He didn't want, okay.
He was pissed.
We, like, never had music after that ever again.
Yeah.
Like,
this was your one chance. Yeah.
And we blew it because we didn't vet him.
We didn't vet him. And
this is your lesson. Everybody listening, this is your lesson. Not to just take someone's word for it.
No. Right? Oh my God.
For yourself.
You got to see it for yourself. And don't look the better. But what's the best thing about, because I know you do comedy as well.
Yes.
The best thing about being in a duo is, like, going through these things. You get to do it together.
Yeah, you're not alone.
At the end of the night, when you drink whiskey to sober up, because you're at that point where you're like, now we have to run this thing, and I don't know how except to get really drunk on whiskey. Which actually works. That was too high.
Yeah. That is a good antidote.
That is, like, it's just a quick fix.
Kind of levels you out.
Not me. I'd be on the ground. Whiskey makes me black out. I wish it didn't.
Really?
Yeah, I wish it didn't, because I do enjoy the drunk of like the buzz that whiskey gives you, but every time it's lights out, so I can't really mess with it.
Okay, so not for you, but something to the equivalent. But I found like
other people. Yeah, listeners.
Because I was spiraling down a drain inside my own brain. I'm like, Lindsay, this is horrible, worst night ever. She's like, let's have a whiskey. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that for me it was like an antidote, because I was like just so high. I needed to feel slightly normal, and that was to feel slightly drunk. Yeah. That made me feel normal.
Yeah.
But that night, I, for some reason, like, my roommates must have been out of town or something, and Kelly and our friend Jolene, who used to run the door, they both slept at my house, and like, we slept like there were like 3 different beds, but we had all the doors open of the apartment, and we just all night were like, like,
it cracked us up. I mean, it's still it's for years it still cracks us up.
Oh my God, no, I was crying.
It was like 3 a.m, everyone's asleep. One of us would still be kind of like giggling to themselves and go, Muddy Woes.
It was out of control.
I just don't understand how he got away with it.
Yeah.
He got away with it first. Like, people came to see him.
No, people came to see him. Like,
people like weird shit.
People there. I know.
Like weird shit.
They must have not known. And it was one of those things where we all knew the coworkers, but we didn't know how well everyone knew each other. So could we say, wow, that was bad? Like, we didn't know who knew who better.
Who was best friends with him? Who was his sister? Like, we didn't want to...
Like, so we never even talked to anyone about it after that worked with him either. Well, they thought it was bad.
Yeah. That was smart of you, because that is true. You never know who knows. And this is just a word to everyone listening. Like, don't, unless it's like your tribe of people, don't talk shit about people you don't really know, because you never know who is related or who's best friends.
Yes,
it's a sticky road to go down that can give you a really bad reputation. So good on you two. I have quite a few questions for you.
Yeah.
And also, I'm empathizing with you too, because you said this was 15 years ago. People don't understand. I mean, some people do, but not everyone understands how rapidly social media and technology has changed. So,
oh
my god, yeah.
We didn't even have Instagram, I don't think.
Oh, definitely.
15 years ago, no.
On Instagram.
No, it was we made a Facebook event.
It's all Facebook. So there is you were really just being young, trusting, hopeful artists who were saying.
Yeah, there was no way to see his work.
Exactly. Unless he had this big YouTube following or maybe posted a couple of videos on Facebook, you would have no way of knowing. Right. You were trusting a friend or even an acquaintance and trying to, because people, this is why nepotism will never go away, because people want to work with people they like and that, or no, and that's the root of all nepotism, and it just will never go away. So it sucks, but people have to get used to it. So that's where it stems from. So you guys, you had him on the show. He had the balls to literally say
the
audacity to say that's it to you. Did you see him afterwards?
We must have, because
we must have seen him
this is
afterwards.
how we knew him. I was a Sex and the City tour guide. And our tour stopped at his bar, because that's Stephen Aiden's bar. They made the Cosmos. So, like, I would see him, like, 4 or 5 times a week if he was working behind the bar. Then Kelly wound up working
I ended up working at that bar.
But I think you worked there after he left.
I think so, too. We may have had a crossover of, like, a week, but I didn't really know him.
I think I saw him, like, for a couple months after, until he switched jobs, and I think it was just kind of like, great show!
Hi and bye!
Hi!
Yeah.
You know?
No, I think it was the kind of thing, like, no one ever mentions it again.
No one mentions it again.
Yes. What was his genre? What did he classify himself as?
He was trying
jazzy singer-songwriter type of?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Really took himself very seriously.
Yeah, he was a serious artist.
That's too bad.
A seriously terrible artist.
Yeah, and like, our shows were a bit debaucherous.
Very silly. Dick jokes galore.
No one was taking themselves seriously.
No, it wasn't
except
as serious.
For this guy.
It was fun. It was just fun. Yeah. Fun with a little like splash.
The crowd, yes.
Right.
Lots of heckling, lots of loud audience members being a part of the show. Like,
it was just silliness.
It was just silliness. So when we gave him the hook and he was like, really?
How dare you? Do you know who I am?
Like,
it was like,
everyone
really?
was like, yeah, leave. Like, you gotta go, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, it was ridiculous.
Now, after your stint as a duo, a Nancy Botwin duo, if you will, that's a Weeds reference for anyone who doesn't know the TV show Weeds. Nancy Botwin was a drug dealer. Yes, we love Nancy. That show didn't age well. I tried to give it a rewatch during the pandemic. It didn't age as well as it did.
I never watched it. Lindsay was trying to get me to watch Weeds.
I loved it. I loved it when I watched it the first time through, but that was in 2010 and 2011, and then now I'm like, I tried to rewatch. I'm like, oh, Weeds will be a fun rewatch. It was not, unfortunately, but maybe anybody who hasn't seen it before may enjoy it. Now, your stints as the duo Nancy Botwins, did you continue this much longer? Did it get you financially where you needed to be?
Our first web series, we've done 2. Our first one was funded. We did like 2/3 of it on a GoFundMe kind of thing, and then the other third of it was through the Pop Brownies. So we really did. We had like a big party.
Yeah, we did accidentally poison her dog.
Oh, Oliver, my dog, ate one of them. Like,
and what did he do?
That was actually a really bad experience. It was scary.
It was scary, but nothing happened to him.
He was totally fine. He just got really high.
Yeah.
We were doing some sort of a fundraiser.
It was a fundraiser on our friend's roof. We had like, Thor was there.
Karaoke.
Thor brought a karaoke machine.
Yes, he was.
Perfect.
And we were going to sell Pop Brownies there too, obviously. So I had one in my purse. They were everywhere.
Yeah.
I had one in my purse.
They're coming out of our ears. And Oliver, her tiny little dachshund terrier got into it.
He got into it.
And ate like an entire one.
I think he ate like a half a one. And these, like, if we licked the batter and got high, I was like...
half a one would be like...
freaking out about the dog.
Yeah.
So I called a vet, and they were like, really, like, can't tell you what to do. You got to bring him in. I'm like, I have to host this party. Like,
we were already on our way to Brooklyn from Manhattan on a Saturday. Like, it wasn't... we weren't coming back.
Yeah. So Oliver had to wait it out, basically.
Well, Oliver, so I had a neighbor keep an eye on him. She like checked in on him a few times, but he took all my shoes out of my closet and put them in the middle of my apartment. When I got home, all my shoes were in the middle of the floor.
Oh, okay. An organized pothead.
Like he was like, I need to figure this closet out. It's driving me crazy.
Yeah. He's like, this is my moment.
Yeah, I think he wanted to be in silence and darkness in the closet.
Makes sense.
And I think that he took them out to like give him a nest. But it was really...
She called her dad for advice because they have dogs and her dad's a pothead. So she was like, what do I do? I'm freaking out. And he's like, just put on some Jimi Hendrix and let it ride. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
He was okay. I think if a dog doesn't start like seizing from the chocolate right away, like
there was chocolate.
Okay.
That was the other thing, the chocolate of it all. Yeah,
the chocolate of it all.
I didn't even think of that.
Okay.
I think it made him stronger.
Oh yeah. I used to work this was years ago. I worked at Guy Fieri's restaurant in Times Square. Do you remember that?
Yes.
I went there to their opening.
Oh my God! I literally worked there from before it opened until the last day when it closed. So I was the unofficial queen of Flavortown. Thank you very much.
Amazing.
But
you're welcome.
You went to the opening, like the opening night?
The opening, like
Why?
I got invited by the Appleseed. It was an Appleseeds connection.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's incredible. Well, I was there too, so we have been to the same party. But
amazing.
Unfortunately,
great hors
great hors d'oeuvres. But I remember there was one time one of my girlfriends she has a backyard, and she was having some people over. It was like one of the first hot days of summer. This is probably like 2013 or 14, and she was having people over in her backyard. And I had to go to work for the night shift, but all my friends were at her house and everybody was like so excited. It's like, oh, it's finally warm. We can sit outside. And I just was and my ex-boyfriend like left me to go there because I had to go to work. And I just remember being so pissed that I had to go and do this, go do the shift that I put my hand in my bag. I went to go get my phone out so I could call my mom and complain to her about how pissed I was. And I grabbed a pot brownie that I had bought from someone at work, and I was like, dare I have a little bit of this in solidarity with my friends partying? And I took a piece off. It was a huge mistake, but also kind of funny. I took a piece off. I ate it about 4:30 as soon as we're supposed to get on the shift. It's a Saturday night. I walk in, I'm like, or after pre-shift and everything, and I'm like, whoa, this bitch is fucked up. And I had to work this entire shift, and this guy was like, okay, I'm gonna give you all my tables, I'll give you everything, blah blah blah. And I was like, I can't handle this. I was forgetting to ring in people's drinks. I was forgetting to ring in people's appetizers. It was just like, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. So,
that's the
for
worst.
the youngins, like listening to this, now you know, if I eat this little gummy, it's this many milligrams, and my body only likes this many milligrams.
We had no way to control that.
And you're just like prayed to I hope this is okay. Like, you know, you just didn't know.
Being high at work, especially a restaurant where it's like super like fast paced, super stressful, a lot of memory involved, a lot of talking to people. All the things.
It was like I was relaxed because I was so high, so I was making mistakes, but I didn't care that I was making mistakes.
Oh, that's good. At least
I didn't care. I was like, oh, I didn't ring in this table's entire appetizers on a Saturday night when they're about to go to the theater, and then I'm like, it'll be out. Don't worry, we didn't charge you for your drinks. We didn't charge you for your drinks because I didn't fucking ring in the drinks. So
that's amazing.
You also didn't get your drinks, but you also here nor there.
I also drank all your drinks on the walk over here. No, it is one of those those things, like milligrams is such a big thing. Like 5 milligrams back then would have like really messed me up. Now I need 100 just to feel anything.
Oh, I could only take like 2.5. Like when we were making the pop brownies, we did not. We tried not to test our own supply.
Right.
It was always a like you lick the batter and they go like, fuck, I licked the batter. Like, it was always a mistake. It was always like, I'm not making regular brownies, you dum-dum. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, you can't lick an entire wooden spoon, like, dripping with batter.
Even though it tastes great. Now, the cool thing about you two is you are a comedy duo who has sustained and the test of time. You've been together for 15 years, so I'm sure, were you friends before, or were you kind of just like, hey, I think you're funny, let's work together?
Kind of both, actually.
Yeah.
We met at UCB and joined like a little group off of the class to start a project together. And then that's like, 6 people, too many cooks in the kitchen, and we both kind of looked at each other and we're like, should we like
break off,
blow this popsicle stand and like blow each other?
Yeah.
But not really in a sexual way.
Yeah.
Lindsay thought I was a bitch when she first met me, though.
Well, she wasn't very friendly to me when I first, it's like UCB. I didn't know anyone in the class, and you go around and you say where you're from, and she said she was from Florida, and I'm from Florida. We're from 30 minutes away from each other, and so I like walked up and was like, "Hey, I'm from Florida," and she was like, "Cool." I'm like, "Okay, see you later, bitch." Like, I was just like, what a dick.
You were trying.
I was really trying.
Yeah. Maybe you were trying too hard.
Maybe it was.
What did you think of her?
She doesn't remember.
I don't.
No.
I don't remember. I don't remember anything. It's all very gray to me. Like there was nothing. Like I don't think I felt any which way about her. I was indifferent.
Yeah.
I give that off.
Yeah, you're like, I'm the indifferent vibes.
Yeah. But yeah, we started doing sketches, and then that like on YouTube, and then that kind of turned into a live show, and then that turned into like 2 web series. But we moved here basically together. Like we've mostly, the podcast that we have is together. Mm-hmm. We've stuck together for a long time. We go on honeymoons. Like we went to
South Africa together.
Oh my God.
Costa Rica together.
Oh my God.
Kelly's birthday.
What part of Costa Rica are you going to?
Well, we're deciding now. We're doing a retreat in
we're doing a writing and yoga retreat.
Nosara.
Oh, okay. I don't know that.
It's on the west coast.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I have been to West Coast, Costa Rica. I've been to Tamarindo and
that's close to where we're going.
Yes, and the Arenal volcano area I've been to.
That's the other place we're going to go there for a few days as well before we fly home.
You're going to love it, love it, love it.
Oh my God, we can take this off air, but like we want to know where you stayed. We want to know
absolutely. I will give you all the Costa Rica tea, but it was one of my favorite places in the world. And the cool thing about the Arenal area is so different from the beach area, so you get like 2 different worlds in one. Best of both worlds. So that's great. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. And let's talk a little bit about your podcast. I will say right off the bat, your podcast is called Fuck You, I'm Smarter. And one of the things I love about it is that you come in with info and you kind of teach each other a little bit about the subject that you're going over that week. And the listeners get to learn a little something too. So where did this come from? How long have you been doing the podcast?
We're on like 200 episodes, whatever that is in years.
Are we really?
I think so.
No.
That's almost 4 years, right? 108 would be almost.
I thought it was 200. No, I made that up.
You made it up.
I made that up.
We've
so a little over 2 years, then, right?
Oh my God.
It may be 3, because it was.
Well, we lost a year.
It was before COVID. Like
it
was before. Yeah, 2019. The end of 2019, we started it.
Yeah, I think so.
No. End of 2018. I don't know.
You know what? You won't.
Who really knows?
Yeah, you're not graded. You're not getting graded.
We basically grew up in Florida and felt like our education system had failed us, and we would be like out at parties and be like, "Look, I know that I'm like not a stupid person, but I don't know anything that these people are talking about,
right?
Or I don't know anything about this thing that I probably should know about. Like me, for example, like I never had a good history teacher. I feel like I know nothing about history, any history. Like, I just feel like I never learned it. So
there's big like gaps.
There's
big like holes in our knowledge and education. And so we wanted to be smart.
Yeah. So we're like, let's make it fun. We'll do a comedy game show, and like every guest that we have, like Rocky, you're going to be a guest. And
in about an hour. Less than that.
So we go through and we look at the guests and where are they from? What were their strengths and weaknesses in school? What do they do for a living? And we kind of tailor the games, or most of the games, to our guests. So we learn about our guests' high school experiences and what they were like growing up. But then we also get to quiz them and see who's dumber, us or them.
Yeah. And we like to incorporate some, like, sometimes we do like little fun games, like play MASH, or we ask embarrassing stories if the guest has any. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So, just a fun little.
Yeah, it's been really fun. We've had some awesome guests and played some really stupid games, and yeah, it's great. Everyone should listen. Fuck you, I'm smarter.
Where can everyone follow you?
The easiest way to do it is at Kelly and Lindsey on Instagram.
Perfect.
And then through that, there's like a link tree in our bio that has the podcast, the web series, and you'll find our personal accounts on there as well.
Amazing. Well, ladies, this was an absolute delightful story. It was very wild, and though I've never made any kind of edible treat in the THC realm myself, now you can just go to the store and buy it, which is amazing.
Exactly. We don't need to do it anymore.
I'm happy to have found some pothead kindred spirit sisters, so this is really wonderful. I'm so excited to do your podcast, and I've loved having you on mine. So everybody, follow Kelly and Lindsey. They are just wonderful people, and they're a lot of fun. So they're in good wild night company.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely.
This is so fun, Rocky. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for doing the show. We'll talk soon, okay?
Sounds good. Bye.
All right, bye.